Hey, welcome back to the channel. I haven't done a video for about 4 or 5 days because we had Thanksgiving and did a lot. And I'm here now tonight to cover a very personal and interesting subject some of you may be wondering about. Because the way I introduce myself often is I'm a sober Christian deadhead who also leads a worship team. And I do IT design and all kinds of stuff. But what about the deadhead part? That may throw some of you, and I want to clear some things up so you understand. I'm a child of the 60s and the 70s. I grew up going to a lot of different concerts. Back in the day when you could go see everything from the Grateful Dead, the Rolling Stones, Blood, Sweat, and Tears, Santana. I mean, I can go on forever and talk about, I even went to a few Blue Oyster Cults and ELOs and just a lot of different genres of music, even some opera and stuff and symphonies. I was all over the place with music. But I landed on the Grateful Dead. And now you have to understand that I was a hippie at that time, pretty much, or becoming one. And let's say I tried it all out. I saw if the shoe fit, and all that. And so here's what happened. A friend of mine, as in high school, his name was Steve. I think it was Steve Rashman, and there's a couple other, Brad Sherman, a couple others, that said, you really got to listen to this band because they're totally different than anything you'd expect. The name Grateful Dead doesn't make any sense. They're like, what does that mean, Grateful Dead? And they said, don't try to figure it out. Just go listen to the music. And so I did. I went to a concert in Long Beach Arena, 1970. I think it was 71. It might have been November of 71. It might have been 72. I have to go back and look. But, I had heard of Jerry Garcia. And, of course, everybody knew Truckin' because Truckin' was on the radio then. And I thought, Truckin's such a cool song. I mean, I can just see this, this like wood-sided, woody, kind of travel-all going down the road, or a bus or something full of people, hippies, and maybe surfboards on top, and just kind of very animated look. The way the sound of the music of Truckin' says, I'll go see him. And I came in and they were playing a song called Sugaree, which Jerry Garcia wrote. And I was instantly a fan. I heard that music. I've been to a lot of concerts, so it wasn't like my first deal, but that was my first Dead concert. Now, some of the people that surrounded that group, I ended up separating myself from as time went on because I just could not necessarily agree with the lifestyles that I was seeing. I saw a lot of drug destruction, and there was that in my own life too. So I saw things that wore off on me, and weren't real good. But I knew I had to not be one of the Dead cult. So I was there for the amazing music, and my friends were there too. You know how we all are. We want to be in community, and my friends were there. And I had some great friends, still have some great friends from that era, Glenn Siegel, Dave Chorno. So that period was very influential on me. I studied music. I started really studying music because I wanted to see how it was put together. Their music is very, very interesting. They have an enormous variety of songs, hundreds and hundreds. And they changed almost each year on how they presented the music, and what they wrote changed. So they went from being kind of a bluesy, rocky cover band to being just symphonic, jazzy, amazing ephemeral type of music that was psychedelic in all of its nature. They took after John Coltrane. They studied John Coltrane, and Phil Lesh, their bass player, was a very much classically trained musician long before he picked up the bass. He played trumpet and violin. He designed entire symphonies. He was a composer. He was a avant-garde music student, and He himself was well entrenched into the music scene by the time he met Jerry Garcia. Garcia handed Phil Lesh a bass, and he like mastered it in 1 week. He had so much musical experience and understanding. He has perfect pitch, which is very rare. Phil Lesh recreated the sound of the bass in American music history. The liturgy of bass playing always includes Phil Lesh. If you ever listen to a Grateful Dead song and really focus on the bass, you realize that there's something there going on that you've never heard before. He created an entire understanding of the bass in a band. And the Grateful Dead were not necessarily a rocky rock and roll band. They could definitely rock out, but they had a lot of American and worldwide history in their music. They were able to take periods of the United States history and turn it into. They had an incredible Western. They call it the Psychedelic Western series that Bobby Weir wrote, of just events happening in the Southwest that you could just picture. They had periods of things that happened in the United States history that were woven into their music as you listen to it. So there are a huge variety of sounds. Yes, they meandered sometimes, and sometimes my wife has to turn them off because she's like, they didn't get to the point. Like, where's this song going? Because they could do a 30-minute song, and 20 minutes of it was this meandering jam, you know. For me, that's fine, because I like to hear how they're putting together the sound. They never played the same song twice, ever. What you heard in the studio was never what you heard live. And if you went back to hear them the next night, they could play the same song, and it was totally different. That kept my short attention span interest up. I, again, was not a groupie. I did see them several scores of times throughout over a couple of decades. But I definitely kind of got turned off to the type of crowd that was showing up near the end. But I kept their music kind of in my heart. And I am a bass player. And I feel like I mentored under Phil Lesh. I just hear him. I can't play like him, nobody can. But I surround what I'm doing when I'm playing in a very democratic way for the people that I'm playing with. I try to support them. But I have a little bit of a lead bass sound and pretty heavy duty rhythm sound, because I'm of the feeling that the bass needs to not just be something that is in the background that you don't hear, that supports the music, because a lot of music is that, and that's okay. There's a place for that. I see it more as a tool or an instrument to help create and bring about a polyphonic symphonic sound. And also, it's a rhythm instrument, which is really interesting to think about, because it's a rhythm instrument. Yeah, it's very much. Yeah, any good bass player is always hanging out next to the drummer, and I do, to hear that bass drum, right? To hear that foot, as that beat goes, because that's what I'm resounding with, right? So I'm a kind of a deadhead, but I'm not a full-fledged card-carrying member in a lot of ways, because that's why I've survived. I'm 68, or else I'd be dead. I lost a lot of friends, unfortunately, to drugs, alcohol, and that lifestyle. And I'm not just Grateful Dead. I'm grateful to be alive. Tell you the truth. So anyways, I really want to do this video, just get it kind of done tonight, so you guys know when I say what I say about that. There's so much more I can say. I don't want to keep going. It's just when something is part of you, it has undeniably been an influence in your life. You have a choice. You can either parlay it into something great, and I have, or you can, just stay stuck and you're the same person all the time. I am not stuck. I'm not the same person all the time. I change every day, just like their music did. And my mind sees things differently. I have a very kind of a plastic, was that the word? Mind, where I can kind of massage things around and do a lot of play on words and things in my brain. And I don't know, I keep myself entertained. Anyways, I hope you're doing well. And here we go. We're getting on the downside of 2024, headed for Christmas. And I hope that everything goes well for you and whatever holiday you celebrate, whatever faith and religion you are, it's okay with me. Just stand up and celebrate it and be heard. Good night.